As energy poverty continues to grip communities across Nigeria, Osun State Governor Senator Adeleke has called on Southwest states to embrace renewable energy as a sustainable path to achieving electricity access for all. Speaking through his deputy, Mr. Kola Adewusi, at the Southwest Post-Conference Stakeholders Roundtable on Renewable Energy held in Osogbo, Governor Adeleke described the energy crisis as more than an infrastructure gap, calling it a direct violation of citizens' basic rights. He decried the persistent darkness faced by many African communities despite the region's abundant solar, wind and innovative potential. Adeleke emphasized that energy poverty is not only unacceptable but a hindrance to economic and social progress. To this end, he urged state governments in the Southwest to move beyond policy declaration and take bold, coordinated action towards implementing renewable energy strategies capable of driving sustainable growth.
Today, we gather in Osogbo, capital of Osun State, not just as stakeholders, but as visionaries and builders of a new Nigeria, a cleaner, fairer, and more resilient one. This roundtable is not just a meeting, it is a defining moment which signals a regional commitment to move from vision to action in renewable energy governance and implementation. We are living in a pivotal era. Climate change is no longer a distant threat, but a daily reality. Energy poverty is no longer acceptable, as it is a fundamental human rights issue. In this part of the world, which is a region endowed with sunlight, wind, and innovation, it is deeply concerning that so many of our communities still remain in darkness. The time for waiting has passed, and the time for localized action is now. We must power the Southwest and indeed do so sustainably. In Osun State, we are embracing both evidence-based and people-focused solutions. On this special day, we are unveiling our climate-smart investment portfolio, being a strategic roadmap designed to attract responsible capital into renewable energy, sustainable infrastructure, and the circular economy. We are also presenting the draft Osun State Renewable Energy Policy, crafted to establish a strong legislative and institutional foundation for an inclusive energy transition at the sub-national level. In addition, we are launching the draft Osun State Climate Action Plan, which was developed in consultation with experts, grassroots communities, and our development partners. We are equally proud to unveil the Imole Solar Light Project, which is a practical and symbolic solution for last-mile energy access. Our one child, one lantern is our promise. Every child deserves light to study, dream, and grow regardless of their location or background. To all our delegates, you will find a sample of the Imole Solar Lantern in your conference bag, not just as a keepsake, but as a beacon of the future we are striving for. Let me remind you of a child in a Iwo, Ifetedo, or Ikiri, whose dreams now shine a little brighter. Furthermore, we are establishing the Osun State Recycling Hub, showcasing electric motorcycles and launching green clubs in schools, because our climate vision extends beyond today. It is for the generations yet unborn. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not just generating megawatts, but we are generating ownership, inclusion, and dignity. The power we seek is not only electrical, it is political, social, and transformational. This roundtable is not just about Osun, it is about building regional synergy across the Southwest. From Lagos to Ekiti, Ogun to Ondo, we must collaborate, legislate, and invest together. To our lawmakers, let this be done. A bold, forward-looking, legitimate looking climate legislation. To our scholars, let your research inform our policies and your students inspire our future. To our youth, your creativity is not just welcome, it is essential. To our development partners, we thank you, but we also urge you to invest more, trust local leadership more, and walk this path more closely with us. In conclusion, in Osun, Imole Day is more than a slogan. It is a statement of purpose, and today, that light becomes solar, it becomes clean, it becomes fair, and it becomes just. May these roundtables spark policies, partnerships, and programs that uplift us, and may the lantern you carry from here light up more than roofs. May it also light up communities, classrooms, conscience of this great nation. With this, I hereby declare the Southwest Post-Conference Stakeholders Roundtable on Renewable Energy officially open.
The two-day Stakeholders Roundtable, organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Renewable Energy in partnership with the Osun State Government and the United Nations Development Programme, ran from Tuesday, June 3 to Wednesday, June 4, 2025. It brought together key players, including lawmakers, government officials, scholars, energy experts, and delegates from across the Southwest to brainstorm actionable solutions for a greener future. In his remark, the Speaker of the Osun State House of Assembly, Honorable Wale Egbedun, expressed the Assembly's readiness to work hand in hand with the federal government and development partners. He emphasized their commitment to enacting laws that attract investors and promote projects such as solar and waste-to-energy solutions within local communities. He added that the youth are eager to contribute to the green economy and praised Governor Adeleke for his proactive stance in combating climate change and promoting sustainable energy alternatives.
Today's gathering is not just another conference, it's a clarion call to legislative, executive, private, and civic actors to act with urgency and unity in charting a bold path towards energy justice and sustainability for our region and for Nigeria. The theme of this event, From Vision to Action, localizing Nigeria's renewable energy legislative agenda, is both timely and instructive. It speaks to our collective responsibilities as lawmakers, as policy advocates, as citizens, to translate ambitious commitments into practical frameworks that work for our people. As the Speaker of the Osun State House of Assembly, I affirm our full commitment to 1. Domesticate the national renewable energy and energy efficiency policy. 2. Align state laws with the Climate Change Act of 2021. 3. Support the implementation of Osun Energy Transition Plan. And 4. Provide the legal scaffolding for investment, innovation, and inclusion in the renewable energy ecosystem. The Osun State House of Assembly, under my leadership, is ready to work with the executive, federal partners, and development actors to enact enabling laws that attract green financing, support solar and waste-to-energy projects, and build climate resilience in our communities. We must be clear, this is a moral and economic imperative. Millions of our people, especially in rural areas, still live in energy poverty. Our young people are eager to learn and work in the green economy. Women are unequally affected by the energy access gaps, and yet the sun shines on us generously. Our organic waste is abundant, and the political will, as demonstrated here today, is strong. This roundtable discussion gives us a platform to break silos, listen to experts, and most importantly, live with concrete steps we can take as a region and as subnational governments to push forward Nigeria's energy transformation. I commend our able consultants on climate change and renewable energy, Professor Ubuaku, the House Committee on Renewable Energy, the technical partners, and all the delegates from across the Southwest. I'm especially proud that Osun State is paying host to this bold regional conversation. Let us engage, challenge each other, and work out of this hall with renewed conviction and a practical legislative roadmap that makes clean, affordable, and reliable energy not just a dream, but a reality for every citizen. Once again, I welcome you to Osun State. May our deliberations be fruitful, focused, and transformational.
Also speaking at the event, Professor Chinwe Obiaku-Igwe, the consultant to the governor on climate change and renewable energy, highlighted the importance of shifting from the policy dialogue to subnational implementation. She described the roundtable as a platform for honest conversation, technical knowledge sharing, and legislative clarity.
Legislative conference. We must now ask ourselves, what next? How do we move from shared vision to state-backed action? How do we ensure that national policies, from the renewable energy and energy efficiency policy to the climate change act, are not just abstract documents, but real instruments for job creation, access to clean energy, and inclusive growth in Osun State and the wider Southwest? As a lead technical consultant to this government on this initiative, I have had the privilege of engaging deep, diverse group of actors, from lawmakers to CSOs, from community stakeholders to private sector pioneers to youth advocates. And the truth is this: we are ready. Osun State is ready. We have the intellect, we have the infrastructure, thanks to Mole. And most importantly, we now have the institutional awareness that renewable energy is not a luxury, it is a necessity. This roundtable today is designed as a space for honest dialogue, for technical exchange and legislative clarity. We will listen, we will challenge each other, and we will live with a shared understanding of what it will take to enact subnational renewable energy frameworks that are ambitious, bankable, and just.
In a separate media chat, the chairman of the House Committee on Renewable Energy, Honorable Afam Ogene, revealed that the 10th Assembly has spent the past 2 years raising awareness on renewable energy. He stressed that widespread adoption of renewable sources in rural, undeserved, and unserved communities will reduce the load on Nigeria's national grid. Honorable Ogene further noted that state governments tapping into renewable energy initiatives will create green jobs, especially for women and youth, unlocking a new wave of economic empowerment across the Federation.
This is the novel committee on renewable energy by the House of Representatives, the 10th House of Reps, led by the Speaker, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, PhD, GCON. He is the first speaker to set up a committee solely dedicated to renewable energy. And having taken the charge close to 2 years ago, we thought that a good way of beginning is to create awareness. A lot of people just talk about renewable, and all the average man or woman know about renewable is the solar panels. But it goes beyond that. You know, the renewable energy and climate change, they all work hand in hand, even with the environment. If we are talking about the use of non-degradable materials, it's also impactful on the environment. If we are talking about energy poverty, that they will have less energy in our rural areas, underserved and unserved communities. We are trying to say that we can use renewable energy to bridge the gap so that the pressure on our national grid will be reduced. And instead of that, we can deploy the energy that we get from our national grid to productive ventures, the manufacturing sector, while homes and offices can use renewable energy sources to provide electricity. So that's essentially our challenge. Well, if you even see or look at the theme of this roundtable, it's called From Vision to Action. You know, localizing legislative actions for renewable energy. it came about after our first national legislative conference in Lagos last month, May 3rd and 4th, May 5th and 6th in Lagos. So this roundtable, what we are trying to say is to bring down what we have discussed at the first legislative conference to the subnationals. And as you know, electricity is no longer on the exclusive legislative list, which means that it's not only the federal government that deals with electricity now. Electricity is dealt with by the federal government and the state governments. So we are also trying to tell the subnationals, which are the states, that you have to also step in and use, the sun shines everywhere. And a lot of our people are living in these subnationals. How many people live in Abuja? The bulk of our people lives in the different local governments in the different states. So we are trying to bring those policies down to them, and that is why we have come to do this kind of function in Osun State. We are trying to go to all the 6 geopolitical zones from where it begins to spread, to tell them that they could use these energy sources. And then on our part, what are we going to do? Put the right laws in place. But you cannot do a law. What we are doing here is like a public hearing, listening to people. What do they want? Tax incentives for people to even invest in your country, even in the renewable energy sector. The policies have to be right. They have to be sure that there will be returns on their investments. So you will not just sit in Abuja and make these laws and dump it on the people. We want to have a feel of what they think, so that the space will be open for people to come. For instance, we are also talking about green jobs. We want to be able to make legislations that women and youths especially can be given green jobs. There are projects that you are doing, you must have a certain components for women and youth. If you are transiting, for instance, from fossil fuels, as we want to do, but you know that it's not something we are going to do immediately. If you are telling a woman to stop using charcoal, what are you offering the alternative? You must be able to offer for as an example, or even as small as it is, clean cooking stove. And then the issue is, where does she get the coal to even power the clean cooking stove? So these are things that we are going around to gather and make legislations that would push it forward.
Adding his voice, Osun State Commissioner for Economic Planning, Budget and Development, Professor Moruf Adeleke reaffirmed the state's ambition to lead not just in the southwest, but across Nigeria in renewable energy innovation and implementation.
You will see that it's an area where the state government has interest. I am here today to witness for myself what is being discussed in the area of renewable energy, climate change, thereafter, so that we can begin to prepare what will go into our budget in the year 2026. So that will tell you that Mr. Governor is so passionate about the issue of renewable energy. We are even, working towards being the lead in Southwest and of course in Nigeria in terms of activities in renewable energy. So Mr. Governor is committed. Osun State is interested.
In a separate remark, the convener, Professor Chinwe Obiaku-Igwe, told journalists that the event was designed to showcase Osun State's commitment to climate leadership. She stated that the state has both the political will and infrastructural readiness to pioneer green energy reforms. She further disclosed that the state governments had reached an agreement with the House Committee on Renewable Energy for the release of substantial funds dedicated to implementing the state's climate action plan.
So Osun State was represented at the first ever legislative conference on renewable energy, and it became an opportunity for us to key into a platform where we can localize some of the national policies within the state. So Osun State, as we can see, Osun State is pioneering, we're implementing a lot of projects, from our e-motorcycles to the Waste to Wealth project, to the Green Schools project, to the solar farms and other things. So bringing the National Assembly, the House Committee on Renewable Energy to Osun State is to show our eagerness and to let everyone, both other subnationals within the Southwest, okay, and the nation at large understand that Osun State has the infrastructure, we have the political will, and now we are actually demonstrating our readiness to take on climate leadership in Nigeria. Yesterday was the day one of the program. We had the deputy governor who was representing His Excellency, the governor. Then we had the Speaker of the House of Assembly. Part of the goal, yesterday we unveiled our climate action plan, we unveiled our climate smart investment portfolio, and we unveiled the Osun State Renewable Energy Development and Regulation Policy. All these are policy documents, and bringing in the National Assembly was to legalize our efforts, and then bringing in our national parliament was also to create a roadmap for localizing some of the decisions that we reached at the national level. Now, to ensure that this is not also another futile attempt, we brought in CSOs. CSOs are watchdogs, so they are here. We have youth organizations represented here. We have most of our cabinet members were here yesterday, and today we have our commissioner for budget and economic planning, who has also equally met with the chairman House Committee on Renewable Energy, and they've spoken and they have agreed that by next year we would have a substantial amount of money allocated for the implementation of the climate action plan. Now, a climate action plan has two aspects to it. It has that adaptation and mitigation, and funds need to be allocated for each of those aspects. And what we have done is for us to be able to bring every stakeholder in place, bring them together under one roof to be able to discuss and map out a way forward. And I think we've done that. So over the next 6 months, we will focus on implementation. We have a roadmap right now set out by the National Assembly and validated by the Speaker of our House, and then obviously my colleagues here, other cabinet members. So you look out for perhaps the next time we are calling you to launch the e-bikes and other projects.
Also weighing in, the Deputy Chairman of the House Committee on Renewable Energy, Honorable Aliyu Abubakar, underscored the importance of public education and grassroots enlightenment on renewable energy. According to him, creating awareness will foster public buy-in, collaboration, and wider adoption of clean energy solutions. He added that while the federal government and the National Assembly are working on favorable legislation and budgeting to promote renewable energy, it is critical for state lawmakers to align with and support such initiatives through state-level legislation.
As I said, renewable energy is a wider concept. It's a very good concept that everybody needs to be knowledgeable about. You know, in Nigeria, the national grid cannot take our own needs. So we have to go by the renewable energy. If you look at how many dollars do you think can be used to add 1 megawatt in the national grid? It's not possible. So we are into businesses in Nigeria. So each person, each household needs an alternative for the business to grow. So that is the essence of this renewable energy. And as I have said, you know, people need to be educated more about renewable energy. So there need to be a sensitization for our people to know what even this concept of renewable energy means, so that people will support, will collaborate, and will benefit from it. You know, I'm representing my constituency, but there is a part of the constituency of Katana. You know, as representative, I do supply solar to my community, but people are just using the solar. They don't know the source. They don't know it is from a renewable energy source. So people need to be educated more so that they will know what renewable energy entails, how they will benefit from it, how they will collaborate, and how they will support. We have to take this renewable energy issue to our people, to the grassroots. It's for their own benefit. So I suppose the government is doing its best, and we are doing our best in the National Assembly to see that we bring a very good legislation and budget as far as renewable energy is concerned.
As the sun sets on this powerful convergence in Osogbo, one message remains clear: the fight against energy poverty begins with both leadership, clear policies, and united action, with Osun State lighting the way. The Southwest, and indeed Nigeria, may just be on the verge of a renewable revolution. The future is green and it starts now. Ayobami Abidoye reporting for Army Loaded.